Welcome to NabLab. Today I invite you to a slow and deliberate journey into one of the largest, deepest, and most mysterious realms of our planet, the oceans. Sit back, relax, and focus only on listening. Every word, every sentence will guide you gently into the depths of the sea. Take a deep breath, and allow your mind to sway slowly like gentle waves. Oceans cover approximately 71% of the Earth's surface. Beneath the surface lies vastness, depth, and a profound silence. The total volume of the oceans is about 1.332 billion cubic kilometers. These numbers are so immense that they almost defy comprehension. Yet imagine, every single drop of water has moved in a rhythm for billions of years. There are 5 major oceans on Earth: the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Southern, and Arctic. The Pacific Ocean is the largest and deepest of them all, covering roughly 165 million square kilometers. Invisible to the naked eye, currents slowly move through this massive water body, regulating the delicate balance of temperature and salinity. Within the Pacific lies the Mariana Trench, where nearly 11,000 meters below the surface, an entire world exists without light. Imagine, at this depth, the only thing you can see is darkness. The silence is so profound that you could almost hear your own breathing. The Atlantic Ocean stretches between the continents of the East and West. Its waters, guided by ocean currents, influence global climate systems. The Gulf Stream, a warm current, softens the climate of northern Europe. This current is like the Earth's own breathing. The ocean moves slowly but steadily. Throughout history, the Atlantic has served as both a boundary and a bridge for human civilizations. Ships, explorers, and navigators have all journeyed through its quiet vastness. The Indian Ocean lies between Asia to the north, Australia to the east, and Africa to the west. Its waters are warm and saline, with salinity affecting the density of the water and shaping the lives of countless marine creatures. Beneath its surface, coral reefs and underwater mountains gradually take form over generations, offering clues to life beneath the waves. The Southern Ocean, encircling Antarctica, is known for its cold and frigid waters. Here, temperatures often approach the freezing point. Yet even in this harsh environment, penguins, seals, and whales find ways to survive. The Southern Ocean plays a critical role in the planet's climate system. Cold water masses mix with ocean currents to maintain the balance of global temperatures. The Arctic Ocean, surrounding the North Pole, is the coldest and ice-covered ocean. In summer, some regions see ice melts only to reform in winter. Despite its appearance of emptiness, it is home to numerous migratory species. Polar bears, walruses, and seabirds sustain their lives within this quiet, icy domain. As you descend deeper into the oceans, everything becomes slower, quieter, and more deliberate. Pressure, absence of light, and water density compel life to exist in extraordinary ways. Deep-sea fish generate their own light. Some are completely transparent. Imagine creating your own light in absolute darkness. This is only possible in the depths of the ocean. The ocean floors remain unseen to ordinary eyes. They contain underwater mountains, volcanic formations, trenches, and cliffs. These structures are in constant, gradual change, shaped by tectonic activity, water pressure, and mineral deposits. Over millions of years, the ocean floor evolves with patience and silence, as if sculpted by the most deliberate artist on Earth. Every ocean has its own voice, though most are inaudible to the human ear. The gentle lapping of tides against the shore, the movement of underwater currents, and the subtle vibrations caused by deep water pressure create a quiet symphony. Listening to it allows your mind to slow, and you to drift away from the chaos of the day. Now take a deep breath, and let yourself drift into the endless blue of the ocean. Each wave slowly sweeps away a thought, each droplet carries away stress and fatigue. The ocean is a sanctuary both physically and mentally. Deep ocean currents carry more than just water. They transport heat and nutrients. These currents move across thousands of kilometers, linking distant regions of the ocean. In this slow yet powerful movement, a change in one area gradually influences another. It is a delicate, global rhythm that sustains life. Billions of creatures inhabit the oceans. Some are microscopic, like plankton, forming the foundation of the marine food chain. Others are colossal, blue whales, the largest animals ever to exist. A blue whale's heart is the size of a car, and its calls can travel hundreds of kilometers. In the quiet, the movements of such immense beings mark the rhythm and order of life. As you continue to drift deeper into the oceans, notice how the light gradually fades. In the upper layers, sunlight filters softly, giving a gentle shimmer to the water. But as you descend, the world becomes darker, colder, and more mysterious. This is known as the twilight zone or the mesopelagic layer. Here, sunlight barely penetrates, creating an environment where shadows rule, and shapes move slowly and deliberately. The creatures of this twilight zone are extraordinary. Some have large, sensitive eyes that can capture the faintest glimmers of light. Others have bioluminescent organs, tiny lanterns that illuminate their path. Imagine swimming among these creatures, each one glowing softly, moving with measured precision, their presence almost ghostly in the dark. Below the twilight zone lies the bathypelagic layer, often called the midnight zone. Here darkness is absolute. The pressure is immense, crushing and constant, yet life persists. Fish and invertebrates that inhabit this depth are strange and beautiful in ways that defy ordinary imagination. Many have elongated bodies, expandable jaws, and organs that produce light to lure prey. Their movements are slow, deliberate, as if time itself flows differently here. The ocean floor at these depths is a landscape of vast plains, towering mountains, and deep trenches. These mountains, known as seamounts, rise thousands of meters from the ocean floor, offering surfaces for coral, algae, and other life forms to attach and grow. Trenches, conversely, are the deepest places, carved by tectonic activity over millions of years. The Mariana Trench, for example, descends over 11 kilometers, a depth so profound that sunlight never reaches its bottom. Each ocean has its own rhythm of currents, moving slowly but ceaselessly. Thermohaline circulation, also called the global conveyor belt, carries cold, dense water from polar regions along the ocean floor toward the equator. Warm water rises to replace it, creating a delicate balance that regulates Earth's climate. Imagine the patience of these movements, the quiet persistence that maintains life across the globe. Marine life adapts to these conditions in fascinating ways. Some deep-sea species are transparent, their bodies almost invisible, blending perfectly with the surrounding darkness. Others use chemical signals or light to communicate, attract mates, or capture prey. Every creature is part of a finely tuned system, one that has evolved over millions of years to survive in silence and shadow. Above the deep layers, in the sunlit epipelagic zone, the oceans teem with life visible to the human eye. Schools of fish move in synchronized patterns, following currents and seeking safety from predators. Tiny plankton drift, invisible yet vital, sustaining an entire web of life. Sea turtles glide gracefully, their movements slow and deliberate, as if in meditation. Coral reefs, though covering a small fraction of the ocean floor, are among the most vibrant and diverse ecosystems on Earth. Each reef is a city, home to countless species of fish, mollusks, and crustaceans. Colors, patterns, and movements combine in a slow, mesmerizing dance. Imagine hovering above a reef, watching this quiet ballet, each organism moving in harmony, contributing to the rhythm of life. Oceans are not just a sanctuary for life, but also a keeper of Earth's history. Sediments on the ocean floor preserve remnants of ancient climates, extinct species, and geological events. Scientists extract cores from the seabed, revealing layers that stretch back millions of years. These layers are like the pages of a book, telling the story of our planet in silent, patient detail. The sound of the ocean is subtle but persistent. Beneath the surface, currents create soft vibrations, distant whale songs travel hundreds of kilometers, and the occasional cracking of ice or movement of the seabed sends echoes through the water. Close your eyes and imagine these sounds wrapping around you, calming and steadying, drawing you deeper into relaxation. Even the smallest elements of the ocean play a role in its complex system. Phytoplankton, microscopic plants drifting with the currents, produce oxygen and form the base of the marine food chain. Zooplankton, slightly larger, feed on these tiny plants and in turn become nourishment for fish, squid, and other animals. Each movement is slow, deliberate, like a gentle pulse, a rhythm that sustains life in a quiet, unassuming way. Now, feel yourself sinking further into this deep, quiet world. The weightlessness of water supports your body, and your mind drifts freely. Imagine swimming alongside a giant squid, its tentacles moving slowly, cautiously. Observe the subtle glow of a lanternfish, flickering in and out of view. These creatures move with purpose, each action calculated and deliberate, yet almost imperceptible to the outside observer. The ocean is a world of patience. Changes occur gradually over years, decades, centuries. A coral colony grows millimeter by millimeter. A mountain range under the sea rises slowly over millennia. Water circulates, nutrients move, species adapt, all at a pace measured not in hours or days but in a calm, enduring rhythm. And as you continue to float, relaxed and still, imagine the endless expanse of water stretching in all directions. Waves, currents, and tides carry energy across thousands of kilometers. Even storms and hurricanes, though violent on the surface, are absorbed into the ocean's vast memory, their energy dispersed quietly, slowly, over time. Every drop of water in the ocean is part of this immense, patient system. Each drop has a history, moving through rivers, rain, ice, and clouds. Each drop contributes to currents, life cycles, and the rhythms that sustain our planet. Think of yourself as part of this gentle, vast system. Feel the calm, the continuity, and the quiet persistence that defines the ocean. Take another deep breath, and let it out slowly. Allow yourself to sink further into this imagined ocean, your mind floating freely. You are weightless, drifting, observing the silent ballet of life, the slow movement of currents, and the patient unfolding of time. As you drift further into the depths of the ocean, notice how the pressure increases and the temperature decreases. The water above weighs down silently, yet with a consistency that is strangely comforting. In these deeper layers, life exists in a slow, deliberate rhythm. Movement is measured, purposeful, and almost meditative. The ocean floor itself is a world apart, a landscape sculpted over millions of years. Vast plains stretch endlessly, dotted with volcanic mountains and deep canyons. Seamounts rise like ancient monuments from the seabed, while trenches plunge into darkness that has never seen sunlight. Each formation is the result of patient geological forces, moving at a pace that humans can barely comprehend. Sediment accumulates slowly over centuries, preserving the story of our planet. Tiny shells, fragments of coral, and traces of extinct creatures form layers upon layers. Imagine running your fingers through these sediments, feeling the slow passage of time compressed into the soft grains beneath your touch. These silent archives contain the memory of oceans long before humans walked the earth. Life here is sparse, yet resilient. Deep-sea creatures have evolved extraordinary adaptations to survive. Some fish produce light through bioluminescence, tiny lanterns illuminating the darkness to attract prey or communicate. Others have bodies that are almost transparent, their organs arranged in ways that make them perfect ghosts of the deep. Their movements are deliberate, conserving energy, flowing with the rhythm of the surrounding water. Hydrothermal vents punctuate the ocean floor with sudden bursts of heat and minerals. These vents, sometimes called black smokers, release superheated water rich in chemicals that support unique ecosystems. Tube worms, clams, and specialized bacteria thrive here, independent of sunlight. This world exists in isolation, yet in perfect harmony, sustained by the slow, patient flow of the ocean's internal processes. Above the deep layers, the ocean teems with more familiar life forms. Schools of fish move with the currents, creating patterns that ripple through the water. Sea turtles glide in slow arcs, dolphins weave gently through waves, and jellyfish drift like translucent dancers. Each movement is synchronized, part of a rhythm that stretches across hundreds of kilometers, subtle yet mesmerizing. Coral reefs, though small in scale compared to the vastness of the ocean, are among the most intricate and delicate systems. Each reef is a city of life, home to thousands of species. The colors are vivid yet soothing, the movements are slow, continuous. Watch as a small fish navigates the reef, weaving carefully between coral branches, while larger predators move with calculated patience. Every creature has its place. Every action contributes to the slow, mesmerizing ballet of life. Oceans also act as regulators of the planet's climate. The exchange of heat, moisture, and energy between ocean and atmosphere affects weather patterns, storm systems, and even rainfall across continents. Deep currents carry cold water toward the equator, while warm surface waters flow toward the poles. This balance is delicate, yet enduring, a slow dance that has continued for millions of years. Every layer of the ocean contains a story, a unique rhythm of life and movement. Phytoplankton float near the surface, harnessing sunlight to produce energy. Zooplankton drift beneath them, feeding, growing, and forming the foundation for larger creatures. Small fish consume them, larger fish consume the small, and so the chain continues, all in a measured, steady tempo. Each motion, each bite, each movement is deliberate, unhurried, essential to the quiet order of the ocean. Take a moment to imagine yourself floating among these creatures. You are weightless, gliding effortlessly, moving slowly, watching the interplay of light, shadow, and life. The water cradles you, supports you, and the vast quiet wraps around your mind like a soft blanket. Let every heartbeat synchronize with the gentle rhythm of the waves, the currents, and the timeless pulse of the ocean. Even in the upper layers, the ocean reveals mysteries. Drift currents carry tiny plastic fragments, pollen, and organic material across oceans. Seabirds skim the surface, their wings barely disturbing the water. Occasionally, a whale breaches, its enormous body breaking the surface with a slow, majestic grace. Each movement is deliberate, serene, and hypnotic in its scale and impact. Submarine mountains and valleys form hidden pathways for marine life. Fish migrate along these routes, some traveling thousands of kilometers, following temperature gradients, currents, and chemical cues. Each journey is slow, purposeful, and ancient, repeated over generations, a ritual dictated by the rhythms of the ocean itself. And as you sink deeper into this imagined ocean, allow yourself to merge with its pace. Feel the slow pulse of the currents, the gentle sway of the water around you. Your thoughts begin to drift, each one fading as if carried away by invisible tides. The ocean becomes not just a place but a state of mind, calm, patient, and infinite. Take a slow, deep breath, and release. Let your awareness expand, stretching outward in all directions as if you are part of the ocean itself. Every wave, every droplet, every current is a soft reminder of the patience and quiet strength of this immense body of water. Descending even further into the depths of the ocean, the world becomes a realm of shadows and silence. Here, in the abyssopelagic zone, sunlight is entirely absent. The pressure is immense, unyielding, yet life persists. Creatures that inhabit this region have evolved extraordinary adaptations. Some possess elongated bodies, flexible jaws, and light-producing organs. Their movements are slow, deliberate, almost ceremonial in their precision. Hydrothermal vents punctuate the otherwise dark seafloor, releasing clouds of mineral-rich, superheated water. Around these vents thrive communities of life that exist independent of the sun. Tube worms, clams, and unique bacteria feed on the chemicals released from these vents, a testament to the ocean's resilience and quiet ingenuity. Imagine floating silently above one of these vents, observing the soft glow of life, so alien and so perfect in its own rhythm. The seabed in this zone is a varied landscape. Mountainous ridges rise unexpectedly, plains stretch endlessly, and deep trenches disappear into darkness. Sediment accumulates slowly, preserving the remnants of ancient ecosystems, fossils, and the slow story of Earth's changes. Over millions of years, tectonic activity reshapes the floor, creating new mountains and valleys, a slow choreography invisible to the human eye. Even the smallest organisms in the deep play crucial roles. Microscopic plankton drift with the currents, sustaining life above them. Some absorb nutrients, others decompose organic material, recycling energy in a slow, unending process. This intricate web of life, invisible and silent, supports creatures of all sizes, from tiny fish to the largest whales that occasionally descend into these depths. Above these deep layers, the ocean's mid-zones host creatures more familiar yet still extraordinary. Lanternfish glow softly, casting flickering light across the dark water. Squid drift silently, their tentacles floating like ribbons. Predators move with calculated patience, conserving energy in a slow, hypnotic rhythm. Every creature here is part of a system of balance and patience, moving in a tempo dictated by the currents and the slow passage of time. The ocean currents themselves are patient forces, moving heat, nutrients, and energy across the planet. The slow motion of the global conveyor belt distributes warmth and coolness, influencing climate systems and weather patterns far from the ocean. Every wave, every current, every movement of water contributes to this slow, steady balance. Floating in this imagined ocean, feel yourself becoming part of its rhythm. Your body is weightless, supported by the slow, steady movement of water. Your mind drifts freely, each thought carried gently by invisible tides. Observe the subtle glow of a deep-sea creature moving slowly, deliberately. Watch the tiny plankton drifting without hurry. Feel the quiet order, the calm, endless patience that governs the ocean's life. Coral reefs, though not present at these extreme depths, remind us of the ocean's diversity. In shallower zones, these vibrant structures host thousands of species. Fish move among the coral with care, predators glide with precision, and even the smallest organisms play their part in a slow, continuous dance. Imagine observing a reef from above, each movement contributing to a symphony of subtle motion and gentle color, soothing and mesmerizing in its rhythm. Even the ocean surface is part of this rhythm. Waves move with the wind, tides rise and fall, and currents carry water across vast distances. Storms may disrupt this calm temporarily, yet the ocean absorbs and redistributes energy, maintaining balance over time. Every droplet, every ripple, every slow movement is part of the ocean's patient dance. Take a deep breath and imagine yourself sinking further, deeper into the quiet. The pressure surrounds you, steady and reassuring. The darkness envelopes you, serene and infinite. Currents move softly around you, carrying life, heat, and energy in a rhythm that has persisted for millions of years. Let yourself become part of this slow, deliberate, infinite flow. Listen to the subtle vibrations beneath the water. The distant calls of whales, the faint movements of deep currents, the gentle cracking of ice or sediment. These are the sounds of patience, echoes of time itself, gentle, hypnotic, and continuous. Allow your mind to follow this rhythm, drifting with each sound, each movement, each gentle motion of the water around you. Now, as you float weightlessly in this imagined ocean, let go of all tension. Each breath synchronizes with the slow pulse of life around you. You are cradled by the water, embraced by the rhythm of the deep. Your thoughts dissolve, carried away by currents, fading into the quiet, patient vastness of the ocean. As you drift even deeper into the ocean, the environment becomes more alien, more surreal. The abyssal plains stretch endlessly, flat and dark, punctuated occasionally by seamounts that rise like silent monuments from the seabed. Currents move slowly through this realm, carrying cold, nutrient-rich water across thousands of kilometers. Every motion is deliberate, measured, and unhurried. Life here is adapted to conditions that would seem impossible to most surface dwellers. The pressure is immense, far beyond what human bodies could endure, yet countless creatures thrive. Giant squid, with their long, curling tentacles, drift silently through the darkness. Their eyes are enormous, perfectly adapted to detect the faintest glimmer of bioluminescent light. Deep-sea anglerfish move with patient precision, luring prey with their glowing appendages. Their bodies are elongated and flexible, capable of swallowing prey nearly their own size. Every motion is calculated, conserving energy in the slow, demanding environment of the deep. Imagine observing such a creature gliding past, its light pulsing rhythmically in the still darkness. Even larger mammals occasionally descend into these depths. Sperm whales dive thousands of meters to hunt giant squid, moving with a quiet power that is hypnotic to witness. Their dives are slow, deliberate, measured by the rhythm of their lungs and the pressure of the water around them. The sound of their echolocation clicks travels through the abyss, reaching creatures and landscapes invisible to the human eye. Hydrothermal vent communities continue to fascinate. Tube worms, clams, and specialized bacteria thrive here in a world completely detached from sunlight. Their lives are dictated by chemical energy alone, a slow, patient adaptation that has endured for millennia. Around these vents, the water swirls softly, carrying heat and minerals to other parts of the abyssal plain, supporting life in ways both subtle and profound. Floating gently above the seafloor, notice the delicate balance of life. Small scavengers, barely visible, drift among the sediment, consuming organic matter that slowly sinks from the upper layers. Crustaceans scuttle cautiously across the seabed, their movements deliberate and unhurried. Each organism has a purpose, each motion contributes to the slow, continuous rhythm of the deep ocean. The ocean itself is a patient sculptor. Over millennia, tectonic activity shapes underwater mountains, valleys, and trenches. Sediment accumulates, layer upon layer, preserving the slow passage of geological and biological history. Every grain of sand, every fossilized shell, every ancient coral fragment tells a story of time stretched beyond human comprehension. Even the currents above the abyssal zone are slow and mesmerizing. The global conveyor belt moves water across the planet, redistributing heat, nutrients, and life. Warm water rises, cold water sinks, creating a cycle that sustains the entire ocean ecosystem. These movements are gentle yet powerful, subtle yet essential, a constant pulse beneath the surface of our world. Higher in the water column, in the mesopelagic zone, life is more abundant yet still follows the rhythm of patience. Lanternfish glow softly, their light flickering like distant stars in a dark sky. Squid drift slowly, their tentacles trailing, and jellyfish move with the currents in hypnotic undulations. Predators, too, glide carefully, each movement calculated, energy conserved, timing precise. Coral reefs, though not present in these extreme depths, remind us of the ocean's diversity and its slow, deliberate pace. Shallow reefs are teeming with synchronized motion. Fish navigate the branches of coral with care. Predators glide silently, almost like meditative dancers. Every interaction, every movement is part of a continuous, unhurried dance, a rhythm that spans the entire ecosystem. Even at the ocean surface, the patient rhythm persists. Waves rise and fall gently, tides shift predictably, and currents carry energy across vast distances. Storms may temporarily disrupt this calm, yet the ocean absorbs and redistributes energy, maintaining balance over time. Every droplet, every ripple, every movement is part of a slow, unbroken sequence. Now imagine yourself moving through this immense, patient world. Your body is weightless, cradled by the water. Your mind drifts freely. Observe the giant squid curling slowly in the darkness, the lanternfish glowing faintly, the tube worms anchored around hydrothermal vents. Each movement is deliberate, measured, a part of the slow, enduring pulse of the ocean. Take a deep breath, and let it out slowly. Allow yourself to sink further, deeper into the quiet, infinite world of the ocean. Each current, each movement, each living creature around you contributes to a rhythm that has persisted for millions of years. Feel yourself merging with this rhythm, calm, steady, patient, and infinite. The ocean currents move with a patient, deliberate rhythm. Far below the sunlit surface, the thermohaline circulation, also called the global conveyor belt, carries water across entire oceans. Cold, dense water sinks in polar regions and slowly travels along the seabed toward the equator, while warm surface waters flow in the opposite direction. This movement is slow, gradual, and unending, yet it sustains life and maintains the balance of the planet. Imagine floating quietly in these deep waters, feeling the steady pull of invisible currents. Nutrients are carried silently from one region to another, supporting ecosystems thousands of kilometers away. Plankton drift along these currents, tiny yet crucial. Their slow, unhurried motion forms the foundation of the marine food chain. Zooplankton feed on phytoplankton, small fish feed on zooplankton, larger predators feed on small fish, and so on. Every movement is precise, deliberate, and unhurried. The rhythm of life in the ocean is slow, patient, and enduring. Even the largest creatures follow this rhythm. Blue whales glide through these waters with immense grace, their enormous bodies moving steadily, each stroke deliberate, measured. The ocean's climate is intimately tied to its currents. Warm water from the tropics flows toward the poles, influencing weather patterns, rainfall, and storm systems. Cold water from the poles moves toward the equator, carrying oxygen and nutrients to distant regions. This delicate, slow circulation regulates the entire Earth, yet it moves almost imperceptibly. Imagine observing this vast movement, noticing how every drop of water participates in the slow dance of the planet. At the surface, waves rise and fall with the wind, creating patterns that ripple outward in endless repetition. Tides follow the gravitational pull of the moon, swelling and retreating with a measured, hypnotic pace. Storms may disrupt the surface temporarily, yet the underlying currents continue undisturbed, patient, and steady. The ocean absorbs energy, redistributes it, and restores balance in a slow, constant process. Deep in the twilight zone, life continues its quiet, hypnotic rhythm. Lanternfish flicker, squid drift lazily, and tiny crustaceans move with precision. Predators glide deliberately, conserving energy, waiting for the right moment. Each interaction is part of a careful balance, a slow-motion choreography that has endured for millions of years. Hydrothermal vents, too, continue to pulse with life. Tube worms sway gently, bacteria grow silently, clams remain anchored, all sustained by chemical energy. Sunlight does not reach these depths, yet life persists in a patient, unhurried rhythm. Imagine observing these creatures without moving, simply watching the slow unfolding of existence. The ocean floor, even in the abyssal plains, is far from empty. Occasional scavengers drift across the sediment, consuming slowly settling organic material. Crustaceans crawl with measured precision. Small fish patrol the darkness, their movements careful, conserving energy. Every motion is purposeful, part of a rhythm of life that is steady, quiet, and enduring. In the epipelagic zone, near the surface, schools of fish move in synchrony, responding to predators and currents alike. Sea turtles glide slowly, dolphins weave with measured arcs, and jellyfish undulate gracefully. Even in the sunlit waters, the pace is deliberate, a continuous, hypnotic flow. Coral reefs, vibrant and teeming, illustrate this slow dance beautifully. Each reef is a city of life, with thousands of species interacting in a continuous ballet. Fish weave among coral branches, predators glide with quiet grace, and tiny organisms perform essential roles in subtle, deliberate movements. Observe, without hurry, the rhythm of the reef, the slow, hypnotic choreography that sustains life. Every droplet, Every particle, every movement in the ocean contributes to this rhythm. Sediments on the ocean floor preserve the slow story of life, capturing the passage of time in layers of soft earth. Fossils tell of creatures long extinct, corals speak of centuries of growth, and minerals reflect millennia of accumulation. All of this unfolds silently with patience in perfect harmony. Imagine yourself drifting along with the currents. The weight of the water supports you, the rhythm of life carries you, and the vast silence envelopes your mind. Deep-sea creatures move with measured grace, plankton drifts slowly, and hydrothermal vent communities pulse gently with life. Each moment stretches, unhurried, allowing your mind to relax, to drift deeper into calm. Far below the surface, the oceans move in rhythms that have persisted for millions of years. Deep currents travel slowly, carrying cold, dense water from the poles along the seabed toward the equator, while warm surface waters flow in the opposite direction. This global circulation shapes the climate of entire continents, distributes nutrients across vast distances, and sustains life in ways almost imperceptible. In the twilight zones of the ocean, life continues in slow, deliberate patterns. Lanternfish drift, their faint bioluminescent glow pulsing gently through the dark waters. Squid float with tentacles curling softly, their movements precise and measured. Predators navigate the mid-water layers with caution, conserving energy and responding to the slightest hint of movement in their surroundings. Every action contributes to a quiet balance, a rhythm that has endured beyond human comprehension. Deeper still, hydrothermal vent communities thrive in complete absence of sunlight. Tube worms, clams, and specialized bacteria persist, drawing energy from chemical reactions in the mineral-rich waters. Their existence is independent of the surface world, yet every organism functions in harmony with its surroundings. The vents release heat and nutrients slowly, supporting life that operates on a tempo dictated not by daylight, but by the patient unfolding of geological and chemical processes. Across abyssal plains, occasional scavengers drift along the sediment, consuming organic matter that descends from higher layers. Crustaceans move deliberately along the seabed, small fish patrol the darkness, and other creatures glide with measured effort. Each movement is purposeful, and in its slowness lies an unspoken synchronization with the vast environment around them. In sunlit layers nearer the surface, schools of fish move in coordinated patterns, reacting to currents and predators alike. Sea turtles travel in arcs, dolphins weave through the water with gentle arcs, and jellyfish undulate in slow, hypnotic motion. Even in these brighter zones, the pace of life is deliberate, a continuous rhythm that mirrors the patient pulse of the deeper ocean. Coral reefs, with their vibrant structures, host thousands of species engaged in a synchronized, unhurried ballet. Fish navigate between coral branches, predators glide with quiet grace, and tiny organisms perform essential roles in subtle, deliberate movements. These slow, steady interactions maintain the balance of life, creating a miniature world of calm complexity, where every motion contributes to the ecosystem's enduring stability. The surface waves follow a rhythm dictated by wind, tides, and the pull of the moon. Storms may briefly disrupt this flow, yet the ocean absorbs energy and redistributes it, restoring balance over time. Currents carry warmth, nutrients, and microscopic organisms across thousands of kilometers. Even the smallest particle of matter participates in the slow, patient movements that define the oceans. Plankton, drifting in the sunlit layers, form the base of the marine food chain. Zooplankton feed on phytoplankton, small fish feed on zooplankton, larger predators consume the small fish, and the sequence continues. Each interaction is deliberate and measured. The life of the ocean progresses in a tempo of subtle precision, where each movement, no matter how small, contributes to a vast and enduring equilibrium. High above, the rhythm of waves, tides, and currents continues uninterrupted. Surface creatures, from seabirds to whales, move within this slow cadence. Blue whales glide across the ocean, their immense bodies flowing steadily through the water. Each stroke, each movement, follows a rhythm of quiet patience that mirrors the movements of the deep below. In every layer, from the sunlit surface to the midnight abyss, the ocean is a system of balance and measured persistence. Minerals, sediments, organisms, currents, and temperature gradients all interact in a seamless, patient dance. The story of life unfolds slowly, with each generation building upon the last, and every organism, no matter how small, contributing to the enduring rhythm. The ocean is not static. It evolves, moves, and transforms. Mountains rise slowly from the seabed, trenches deepen, and sediments accumulate. Life adapts, sometimes imperceptibly, over centuries and millennia. Currents shift, temperatures fluctuate, and ecosystems adjust, all within a gradual, measured pace that human eyes can scarcely perceive. In this vast expanse, the ocean operates on its own time, an eternal rhythm of calm persistence. Life flows in a deliberate tempo, currents carry energy silently across the globe, and even the deepest regions remain connected to the surface world. Every particle, every organism, every wave contributes to this slow, patient, hypnotic movement that has endured for millions of years. In the vast expanse of the ocean, life exists in a carefully balanced sequence, known as the marine food chain. At the very base drift countless microscopic organisms. Phytoplankton, tiny plant-like organisms, float near the surface, capturing sunlight and converting it into energy. They form the foundation of oceanic life, their slow drifting movements providing sustenance for countless creatures above. Zooplankton feed on these microscopic plants, floating with deliberate motion in the currents. Though nearly invisible, they play an essential role, transferring energy up the chain. Small fish drift in schools, consuming the zooplankton. These fish move with subtle coordination, their bodies gliding in patterns shaped by instinct and necessity. Larger predators, including squid and mid-sized fish, patrol these waters with patient precision. Each movement is deliberate, conserving energy in a world where survival depends on efficiency. Predators wait, their senses attuned to the faintest signals from prey, moving only when the timing is perfect. Even the slightest motion in the water can set off a chain reaction, a ripple that echoes through the food web. Above these layers, bigger fish and marine mammals follow the same rhythm. Sharks glide slowly but purposefully, their movements steady and calculated. Dolphins hunt in coordinated groups, using strategy and patience to capture prey. The entire ecosystem functions in a slow, continuous tempo, where every organism's actions are intertwined with countless others, creating a seamless, patient balance. At the apex of this chain are the largest creatures in the ocean. Blue whales move through the water with a calm, measured grace. Their immense size belies the gentleness of their movements. They feed on krill, consuming thousands of kilograms of tiny creatures every day, yet they glide silently, unhurried, almost meditative in their rhythm. Even these enormous mammals follow the deliberate pace established by the slower, smaller organisms below. Coral reefs, where light penetrates, support a denser, more complex network of interactions. Fish navigate the branches of coral with care, predators glide with quiet grace, and smaller organisms move subtly, performing essential functions that maintain the reef's balance. Each interaction is slow, precise, and deliberate, a choreography that has evolved over millennia. Even the smallest fish contributes to the rhythm, sustaining the health and stability of the reef. Currents carry nutrients, oxygen, and microorganisms across vast distances, connecting ecosystems separated by thousands of kilometers. A single movement in one region can affect distant waters over time. These slow, interconnected flows ensure that life in the ocean remains resilient, adapting gradually to changing conditions while maintaining the overall balance. Even the smallest particles of debris or sediment play a role. Organic matter from the surface drifts downward, feeding deep-sea scavengers. Tiny crustaceans scavenge this material, moving deliberately across the ocean floor. These slow processes, unnoticed by most observers, sustain a hidden world of life, one that exists entirely by the rhythm of patient, deliberate motion. The ocean's ecosystems function without urgency. Growth, reproduction, predation, and migration all occur in slow, careful patterns. Life unfolds at a tempo dictated by the physical constraints of water, pressure, temperature, and light. Even in the most dynamic environments, the underlying rhythm remains measured, steady, and enduring. From plankton to whales, from microscopic bacteria to seafloor scavengers, every organism follows this slow cadence. Movements are subtle, interactions deliberate, and the balance of life maintained through patient, continuous processes. The ocean's pulse is quiet, steady, and hypnotic, a rhythm that stretches across time and space in a seamless, enduring flow. Above the surface, waves and tides follow natural cycles. Storms temporarily disrupt the calm, yet beneath the surface, life continues in its slow, deliberate rhythm. Currents transport nutrients, organisms move with precision, and ecosystems adjust to subtle changes, maintaining the continuity and balance that has persisted for millions of years. The vast ocean is a living system of patient persistence. Every action, every motion, and every living organism contributes to a continuous, measured dance. This rhythm is ancient, constant, and serene. It unfolds slowly, deliberately, connecting the smallest plankton to the largest whale, and linking the deepest trenches with the sunlit surface. In the midnight zones of the ocean, light no longer penetrates. The environment is dominated by darkness, immense pressure, and near-freezing temperatures. Life here has adapted in extraordinary ways, evolving slowly over millions of years to survive in conditions that would be fatal to most surface organisms. Creatures in these depths often possess elongated bodies, specialized jaws, and organs that produce their own light. Bioluminescence is common, serving as a tool for communication, attracting prey, or deterring predators. The glow is soft, rhythmic, almost ceremonial, illuminating the darkness in pulses of subtle energy. Each flicker of light is deliberate, conserving energy in a world where every movement must be measured. Many deep-sea fish are ambush predators. They lie in wait, moving only when necessary, their slow, calculated actions increasing the likelihood of survival. The immense pressure of the water forces efficiency in every motion, shaping their behavior, physiology, and even their reproductive strategies. These adaptations have developed over countless generations, each step in the evolutionary process unfolding with patient precision. Hydrothermal vents, scattered across the abyssal plains, support entire ecosystems independent of sunlight. Tube worms anchor themselves to the rocky vents, while bacteria harness chemical energy from the mineral-rich waters. Clams and other invertebrates thrive in this isolated environment, each species performing its role in a slow, enduring rhythm. The energy from the vents diffuses gradually into surrounding waters, supporting life over wide distances in a steady, unhurried manner. Small scavengers drift across the sedimented seafloor, consuming particles of organic matter slowly settling from upper layers. Crustaceans move deliberately, avoiding predators while performing essential tasks. Even the tiniest interactions contribute to the rhythm of this hidden ecosystem. Every action is part of a precise, slow-moving network of life, sustained by patience and necessity. Squid and other mid-sized predators move with deliberate grace. Their tentacles float like ribbons in the current, detecting vibrations and chemical signals from distant prey. Encounters with other creatures are measured and purposeful, energy conserved in every twitch and glide. These movements are unhurried yet highly effective, a reflection of the ocean's enduring tempo. Giant squid, rarely seen by human eyes, dominate their environment through calculated motion. Their enormous bodies glide through the water with a silent power, eyes scanning the darkness for subtle shifts. Feeding occurs in slow, measured bursts. Each strike is efficient, preserving strength and ensuring survival in a world where resources are scarce and every action counts. Deeper still, in the hadal zones of the trenches, life exists at extremes of pressure and darkness. Creatures here are highly specialized. Some fish are nearly transparent, their organs adapted to survive crushing depths. Microorganisms thrive in sediments, breaking down material that drifts from higher layers. The rhythm of life is deliberate, almost imperceptible, yet continuous. Every generation, every movement, contributes to a system that has persisted for millions of years. Even in these isolated regions, the ocean's larger currents exert influence. Nutrients from surface layers slowly descend, carried by thermohaline circulation. Chemical signals, oxygen gradients, and thermal changes spread gradually, connecting distant ecosystems in a web of slow, patient interdependence. Life at these depths is inseparable from the rhythms of the wider ocean, even when the surface remains invisible. Above, in shallower zones, creatures follow a similar principle of deliberate motion. Schools of fish coordinate movements in synchrony, predators glide with careful precision, and plankton drift with the currents. Coral reefs, vibrant and intricate, support a myriad of interactions that proceed at measured tempos. Each organism, from the tiniest to the largest, contributes to a slow, unbroken pattern of energy and life. Even the ocean floor itself is part of this rhythm. Mountains rise slowly over millennia, trenches deepen gradually, and sediments accumulate in quiet, continuous layers. Fossils embedded in these sediments preserve the history of life, showing how ecosystems have evolved in steady, deliberate steps. These layers, created over millions of years, form the slow memory of the ocean, a record of persistence and patience. In every layer, from the sunlit surface to the hadal depths, the ocean moves in a steady, enduring tempo. Currents, tides, waves, and creatures all participate in this rhythm. Life progresses slowly, adaptively, and continuously. Every organism, every particle, every motion contributes to a vast, unbroken system of patient endurance, a rhythm that has persisted across eons. The oceans are in constant motion, carrying heat, nutrients, and energy across vast distances. Currents flow slowly yet persistently, moving cold water from the polar regions toward the equator, while warmer surface waters travel toward the poles. This circulation, known as the global conveyor belt, regulates climate patterns, stabilizes temperatures, and supports ecosystems thousands of kilometers apart. Deep beneath the surface, water moves almost imperceptibly. Thermohaline currents flow along the ocean floor, carrying oxygen, nutrients, and microorganisms. These slow, continuous movements connect distant ecosystems, allowing energy to travel from sunlit layers to the darkest depths. Even the smallest particles contribute to this immense, patient system, drifting in currents that have persisted for millennia. Above these deep currents, the midwater zones are teeming with life. Lanternfish emit soft bioluminescent light, drifting gently through the dim waters. Squid float with delicate precision, their tentacles trailing in the slow currents. Predators patrol methodically, conserving energy and responding to the faintest signals from prey. Each movement, each interaction, is deliberate, reinforcing the balance of life within the ocean's layered ecosystems. Hydrothermal vent communities illustrate the same principle. Anchored tube worms, clams, and bacteria harness chemical energy to sustain themselves and surrounding organisms. Nutrients slowly diffuse from the vents into the surrounding water, feeding creatures across a broad area. Even in isolation, these ecosystems remain interconnected with the wider ocean, their life cycles influenced by the patient flow of currents and energy. Surface currents, too, play a vital role in connecting distant ecosystems. Warm currents like the Gulf Stream transport heat and nutrients across thousands of kilometers, affecting weather, rainfall, and climate far from their origin. Cold currents carry oxygen and minerals from polar regions, feeding plankton blooms that sustain fish, whales, and other predators. The ocean's energy moves slowly, yet it reaches every corner of the planet, shaping life with patient precision. The ocean's food chains are synchronized with these currents. Phytoplankton drift along, absorbing sunlight and nutrients. Zooplankton follow, feeding carefully on these plants. Small fish consume the zooplankton, while larger predators hunt the smaller fish. Each link in this chain moves deliberately, energy flowing from one layer to another, sustaining life in a measured, unhurried tempo. Even the largest creatures abide by this rhythm. Blue whales follow plankton blooms, migrating across oceans in a slow, deliberate pattern. Sharks glide through mid-water zones, calculating each motion to conserve energy. Dolphins coordinate movements within their pods, working together to hunt. Each organism, whether predator or prey, contributes to a continuous cycle of energy and life that spans the globe. Coral reefs, closer to the sunlit surface, support intricate interactions that also follow measured tempos. Fish navigate the coral branches with care, predators glide silently, and tiny invertebrates perform essential functions in subtle, precise movements. These actions maintain stability and balance, reinforcing the interconnectedness of life, energy, and nutrients within and across ecosystems. Sediments and debris from the surface slowly descend to the ocean floor, feeding deep-sea scavengers. Crustaceans crawl carefully across the seabed, consuming matter over long periods. Bacteria break down organic material, recycling nutrients that eventually reach higher organisms. Every particle participates in the ocean's patient circulation of energy, linking surface processes with deep-sea life in a slow, continuous rhythm. Even the surface waves reflect this slow balance. Tides rise and fall predictably, storms redistribute energy temporarily, yet the underlying currents persist. Energy moves silently, slowly, and unceasingly, maintaining equilibrium across the vast expanses of the ocean. Every movement, every interaction, every wave contributes to a measured, enduring tempo. From the microscopic plankton to the largest whale, from hydrothermal vents to coral reefs, life in the ocean moves in harmony with currents and energy flows. The rhythms are slow, deliberate, and unbroken, connecting all layers, all creatures, and all processes in a seamless, patient dance. The ocean is an immense, enduring system, governed by the steady flow of energy and life across its depths. Even in the deepest trenches, in absolute darkness, this rhythm persists. Organisms respond to chemical cues, thermal changes, and nutrient flows, all transmitted slowly through currents. Life adapts gradually, moving, feeding, and reproducing in a tempo dictated by the ocean's patient, enduring energy. The processes are subtle yet continuous, a reminder of the vast, hypnotic persistence of the oceans. The ocean in its entirety is a living, breathing system of slow, rhythmic balance. Currents, tides, creatures, and sediments all participate in an ancient, unhurried flow. Energy circulates patiently, life adapts gradually, and ecosystems remain interconnected across unimaginable distances. This rhythm has persisted for millions of years and will continue, a timeless pulse of the planet's watery heart. Many of the ocean's largest creatures follow patterns that span thousands of kilometers. Seasonal migrations are among the most remarkable of these behaviors. Whales travel across entire oceans to feed in nutrient-rich waters and breed in warmer, safer regions. Each journey is slow, deliberate, and carefully timed to coincide with environmental conditions and food availability. These migrations form a rhythm that has persisted for millennia, a slow pulse that connects distant ecosystems across the globe. Sea turtles, too, follow ancient migratory routes. From nesting beaches to feeding grounds, they navigate across oceans with patient precision. Their movements are steady, energy-conserving, and in harmony with ocean currents. Along these journeys, countless interactions occur. Small fish clean parasites from their shells, predatory species track them, and microorganisms drift along in the surrounding waters. Each connection, though subtle, contributes to the intricate rhythm of life. Reproduction in the ocean often follows similar slow, deliberate patterns. Many species release eggs and sperm into the water simultaneously, synchronized with tides, lunar cycles, or seasonal changes. Coral polyps, plankton, and fish coordinate spawning events that ensure survival, maximizing the probability that offspring will thrive. Even in the deep sea, where sunlight never penetrates, organisms time reproduction with chemical cues, temperature shifts, or food availability. Each cycle is gradual, patient, and necessary for the continuation of life. Migration, reproduction, and feeding all unfold within the slow tempo of oceanic life. Predators and prey interact in careful balance, each movement calculated and deliberate. Sharks glide through mid-water zones, squid drift with their tentacles flowing, and fish follow predictable paths in schools. Energy passes from one organism to another at a steady pace, sustaining life across layers and distances in a rhythm that is both mesmerizing and hypnotic. Coral reefs exemplify the complexity of these long-term interactions. Over decades, thousands of species interact in subtle, coordinated patterns. Fish navigate coral branches with care, predators patrol with steady movements, and tiny organisms perform essential roles that maintain the reef structure and health. Every action, no matter how small, contributes to the slow, enduring choreography that allows the ecosystem to persist for centuries. Even microscopic organisms participate in long-term processes. Phytoplankton reproduce, drift with currents, and form the foundation of the food chain. Zooplankton feed on them, then are consumed by small fish. Nutrients recycle slowly through each layer, passing from predator to prey, from sediment to microorganism. This continuous flow of energy forms a patient, unbroken cycle connecting the smallest to the largest, the surface to the abyssal depths. Some deep-sea creatures exhibit remarkable longevity, surviving in isolation for decades or even centuries. Their slow growth and metabolism are a reflection of the ocean's patient pace. Tube worms near hydrothermal vents, deep-sea corals, and certain species of fish develop gradually, contributing to ecosystems that remain largely unchanged over vast periods. These life cycles emphasize endurance over urgency, stability over haste, and rhythm over chaos. Even human observers, if they were to follow these creatures silently, would perceive the hypnotic pace. Whales move through the water with measured grace, plankton drift gently in sunlit layers, and currents shift imperceptibly over kilometers. Every event, every interaction, occurs as part of a deliberate, long-term tempo that connects life, energy, and ecosystems. From the deepest trenches to the surface waters, from migratory giants to microscopic plankton, the ocean operates as a patient system. Life unfolds gradually, with interactions that are subtle yet essential. Energy flows slowly and ecosystems adapt with care. Every organism contributes to the persistent, enduring rhythm, a pulse that has continued for millions of years. The ocean is a vast network of time, movement, and connection. Migrations, reproduction, feeding, and growth all occur in measured sequences. Predators follow prey, prey follow currents, and microorganisms drift silently, supporting life on every scale. Each layer, each distance, each interaction contributes to a unified, unhurried system, where patience and precision are essential for survival and continuity. In this immense, patient world, all life is interconnected. Energy flows through cycles that span millennia, and ecosystems remain in delicate balance. The ocean's rhythm is constant, subtle, and mesmerizing, a slow, hypnotic pulse connecting the largest migrations to the smallest microscopic drifts, the surface waves to the deepest trenches, and the present moment to eons of evolution. In the deep ocean, energy flows slowly from one organism to another, creating a system of life that is deliberate, patient, and enduring. Phytoplankton captures sunlight near the surface, converting it into chemical energy. This energy drifts downward as plankton, microscopic particles and organic matter are consumed by zooplankton. Each layer of life absorbs, transforms, and passes energy further, in a rhythm that unfolds gradually over time. Small fish consume zooplankton, moving in schools that shift and bend with the slow currents. Larger predators follow, gliding with measured grace, conserving energy in a world where efficiency determines survival. Even the smallest interaction, a fish nibbling on plankton, forms part of a vast, continuous chain. Each moment contributes to a persistent balance, where life progresses in subtle, unhurried sequences. Hydrothermal vent communities provide another example of the ocean's slow energy transfer. Bacteria metabolize chemicals emitted from the vents, converting them into energy that sustains tube worms, clams, and other organisms. Nutrients diffuse gradually into surrounding waters, feeding larger creatures that drift above the seafloor. This energy moves silently, slowly, and continuously, linking isolated habitats to the broader oceanic system. Sediments falling from upper layers carry organic material to the abyssal plains. Scavengers consume this slowly descending matter, converting it into energy that supports their survival. Bacteria decompose what remains, returning nutrients to the environment. These processes operate at a deliberate pace, demonstrating how the ocean recycles energy with patience and precision. Even among the largest animals, the rhythm of energy transfer is slow and methodical. Blue whales feed on dense swarms of krill, consuming enormous quantities of biomass, yet their movement is deliberate, conserving strength and following seasonal patterns. Their feeding supports the balance of the ecosystem, as they release nutrients back into the water that sustain plankton and other organisms. Each action, though grand in scale, is part of the patient flow of energy that sustains life across the ocean. Coral reefs illustrate the same principle in shallower waters. Fish graze on algae, predators control the populations of smaller species, and invertebrates perform essential cleaning and recycling functions. Energy moves through these systems slowly and systematically, maintaining equilibrium. The rhythm of these interactions is deliberate, creating a stable network where each species contributes to the longevity of the ecosystem. Currents carry energy across vast distances, linking distant ecosystems. Warm water flows toward the poles, distributing heat and supporting life in temperate regions. Cold water moves toward the equator, bringing nutrients that fuel plankton blooms and sustain midwater predators. Energy moves invisibly through these flows, unnoticed by most observers, yet essential to the slow, patient functioning of the ocean. Even the smallest particles in the water participate in this rhythmic system. Sediment, decayed organic matter, and microorganisms drift with currents, contributing to energy transfer from the surface to the deep. Each particle is part of an intricate chain, feeding life in layers and depths that are interconnected by the patient, unhurried pulse of the ocean. The ocean's cycles of energy are mirrored in the behavior of its inhabitants. Predators move slowly but with intent. Prey adjust their patterns accordingly. Migration, feeding, and reproduction all align with the slow currents, seasonal changes, and nutrient availability. The entire system progresses at a measured pace, where every interaction supports the delicate balance of life. In this way, the ocean is both dynamic and patient. Energy flows, organisms adapt, and ecosystems maintain balance through gradual, continuous processes. From the microscopic to the massive, every action contributes to the enduring rhythm of life. Even in the deepest trenches, where sunlight never reaches, the patient transfer of energy sustains life, linking all layers of the ocean in a seamless, unhurried system. From plankton drifting in sunlit waters to whales traversing thousands of kilometers, the ocean demonstrates a rhythm of energy, movement, and life that is subtle, continuous, and hypnotic. Currents, sediments, feeding patterns, and reproductive cycles all operate in slow, deliberate sequences. The deep ocean, midwater zones, and coral reefs are connected by this unbroken, patient pulse. a testament to the enduring flow of energy that sustains the planet's watery heart. In the deep ocean, life exists under extreme conditions, near freezing temperatures, immense pressure, and complete darkness. Organisms in this realm have evolved extraordinary adaptations, each one developing slowly over countless generations to ensure survival. These adaptations reflect patience, efficiency, and a precise relationship with the surrounding environment. Many deep-sea fish possess bioluminescent organs. These light-producing structures serve multiple purposes, attracting prey, signaling potential mates, or deterring predators. The glow is subtle, rhythmic, and controlled, conserving energy while providing essential advantages in an environment where resources are limited. Each flicker of light is deliberate, part of the creature's slow and careful strategy to thrive. Some predators rely on ambush tactics. They lie motionless, blending with the surrounding darkness, waiting for prey to come within reach. Their movements are minimal and highly calculated, maximizing the effectiveness of each action while minimizing energy expenditure. In these depths, patience is a survival skill, and every organism must follow a precise rhythm to persist. Hydrothermal vent ecosystems showcase adaptation at its most intricate. Tube worms anchor to rocks, drawing chemical energy from the vent emissions. Clams filter nutrients from surrounding waters, and bacteria convert minerals into sustenance. Each organism occupies a specific niche, performing functions that ensure the survival of the community as a whole. Energy moves through the system gradually, sustaining life in ways unseen from the surface. Many deep-sea organisms have evolved slow metabolisms. Growth, reproduction, and movement occur at a measured pace, reducing energy demands in a world where food is scarce. Creatures such as abyssal fish and certain invertebrates may live for decades or even centuries, reproducing infrequently but effectively, contributing to long-term stability within their ecosystems. Even the physical structures of some species reflect patience. Deep-sea corals grow extremely slowly, layer by layer, over centuries. These formations provide shelter, breeding grounds, and hunting spaces for countless other organisms. Every layer, every branch, represents decades of steady, deliberate growth, creating habitats that persist across generations. Migration is another form of adaptation. Certain deep-sea species ascend to shallower layers to feed and descend to extreme depths for protection or breeding. These movements are slow, energy efficient, and aligned with the availability of food or environmental conditions. Migration links ecosystems across depths and distances, creating a network of life connected through deliberate, patient patterns. Even reproductive strategies are tailored to these slow-paced environments. Some fish release eggs or sperm only under precise conditions, timed with subtle chemical or thermal cues. Many invertebrates reproduce over extended periods, ensuring the survival of offspring in challenging habitats. The pace of reproduction mirrors the slow tempo of the ecosystem itself, maintaining continuity without haste. Predation and feeding also follow the ocean's patient rhythm. Predators strike only when conditions are optimal, conserving energy in a habitat where resources are sparse. Prey exhibit evasive behaviors that are equally calculated, responding to threats with subtle, deliberate movements. Every interaction is part of a balanced, unhurried dance, a system that has persisted for millennia. Even environmental pressures shape these adaptations gradually. Temperature gradients, chemical compositions, and pressure levels influence physiology and behavior. Over generations, species evolve traits that match these constraints, creating ecosystems finely tuned to the slow, steady conditions of the deep. Every adjustment is incremental, measured, and precise, reflecting the ocean's unhurried tempo. From bioluminescent signaling to slow reproduction, from ambush hunting to patient scavenging, the adaptations of deep-sea life demonstrate a continuous, deliberate strategy for survival. Energy is conserved, risks are minimized, and every action contributes to the long-term stability of the ecosystem. Life in the deep ocean is slow, rhythmic, and extraordinarily persistent. Even the interactions between species unfold gradually. Symbiotic relationships, predator-prey dynamics, and nutrient recycling all occur over extended periods. Nothing is hurried. Everything follows a measured, patient pace. The ecosystem is a living testament to endurance, where each organism, no matter how small or large, contributes to the stability of the whole. In this realm, survival is not instantaneous. Life unfolds in slow, deliberate sequences. Every adaptation, every strategy, and every interaction is synchronized with the patient tempo of the deep ocean. The result is a harmonious system, where persistence, rhythm, and balance ensure that life endures in the darkness, far below the surface. The deep ocean is defined by conditions that are extreme and unchanging over long periods. Pressure increases steadily with depth, reaching levels that would crush surface-dwelling creatures instantly. Temperature remains near freezing in vast regions, and sunlight is absent beyond the twilight zone. These physical characteristics dictate the rhythm of life, influencing metabolism, movement, and survival strategies for every organism in the depths. Chemical gradients also define the environment. Oxygen concentrations, nutrient availability, and mineral content vary gradually across depths and regions. Deep-sea organisms have adapted to exploit these gradients slowly and efficiently. Tube worms at hydrothermal vents, for example, rely on sulfur compounds from mineral-rich water to sustain bacterial symbionts, which in turn provide nutrients. This process is measured and continuous, forming the basis of a stable, localized ecosystem. Energy transfer in these environments is equally slow. Organic matter from surface waters drifts downward as marine snow, providing a gradual source of nutrition for deep-sea scavengers. Microorganisms break down this matter, releasing nutrients that sustain other species. Every step in this chain occurs at a deliberate pace, conserving energy while maintaining continuity. The slow tempo ensures that life persists even in resource-limited zones. Currents distribute chemical and thermal energy across vast distances. Cold, dense water sinks at the poles and flows along the ocean floor toward the equator, carrying oxygen and minerals to abyssal plains. Warm surface water moves toward the poles, transferring heat and nutrients. This circulation links ecosystems separated by thousands of kilometers, creating a patient and persistent system where energy and life are interconnected. Even predator-prey dynamics unfold gradually. Predators conserve energy, waiting for optimal conditions to strike. Prey move in slow, deliberate patterns, minimizing unnecessary exertion. Each interaction is part of a larger, measured rhythm that sustains the balance of life. Over centuries, these behaviors become ingrained, defining the long-term stability of entire ecosystems. Hydrothermal vent communities illustrate how chemical and physical features shape life. Temperature fluctuations, mineral concentrations, and vent flow rates determine the distribution of tube worms, clams, and bacteria. Energy is converted gradually from chemicals into usable forms for the ecosystem with minimal waste. Life here is slow but persistent, a model of long-term efficiency in extreme conditions. Even the sediments on the ocean floor play a role in energy distribution. Organic particles, dead organisms, and minerals settle slowly, providing nutrition over long periods. Bacteria and scavengers process these materials methodically, releasing nutrients back into the environment. These processes, although slow, support life across multiple layers, linking surface activity to deep-sea survival in a continuous cycle. Coral reefs, though located in shallower, sunlit waters, follow similar principles on a faster scale. Energy from sunlight drives photosynthesis in algae, which feeds herbivorous fish. Predators consume these fish, and nutrients recycle slowly through invertebrates and sediment. The rhythm may be faster than in the abyss, but it reflects the same principle. Energy moves deliberately, sustaining ecosystems through measured, ongoing processes. Long-term balance in the ocean relies on the patient interaction between physical forces and biological processes. Temperature gradients, chemical distributions, and currents establish a framework. Organisms adapt slowly to exploit resources efficiently, forming food webs, nutrient cycles, and symbiotic relationships that endure for centuries. Life persists because the ocean's tempo is unhurried yet consistent. From microscopic bacteria to giant whales, from deep-sea vents to coral reefs, every organism participates in this rhythmic system. Energy flows patiently, interactions are deliberate, and ecosystems remain resilient over geological timescales. The ocean is a vast, connected network, operating according to slow, steady principles that sustain life, redistribute resources, and preserve balance. Even minor changes propagate gradually. Shifts in temperature, nutrient input, or oxygen levels influence species distribution and behaviors over decades. The ocean absorbs these variations with subtle adjustments, maintaining equilibrium across enormous scales. Its patient, unbroken rhythm ensures that life continues, even in extreme or distant regions. In essence, the deep ocean's physical and chemical characteristics dictate the pace of life. Energy flows slowly through currents, chemical gradients, and biological interactions. Species evolve, adapt, and interact over long periods, creating ecosystems that are stable, enduring, and interconnected. The ocean's pulse is subtle, constant, and hypnotic, a slow, deliberate system linking the surface to the abyss. The oceans are deeply connected to the climate, regulating temperature, precipitation, and wind patterns across the planet. Currents carry warm water from equatorial regions toward the poles and cold water from the poles toward the equator, creating a delicate balance that shapes weather systems over continents. These movements are slow and continuous, influencing ecosystems gradually over time. Seasonal changes affect the distribution of sunlight, which in turn impacts the growth of phytoplankton near the surface. In spring and summer, nutrient availability and light conditions promote blooms of these microscopic plants. Zooplankton populations follow, feeding on the plankton and forming the foundation for small fish and larger predators. This cycle is gradual, unfolding over weeks and months, yet it sets the rhythm for entire marine food webs. Migratory species adjust their movements according to these seasonal patterns. Whales follow plankton blooms across oceans, while sea turtles navigate along currents and feeding grounds. Even small fish adjust schooling patterns and feeding behaviors to coincide with changes in nutrient distribution and predator presence. These adjustments occur over long time scales, reinforcing the slow, deliberate tempo of oceanic life. Currents also redistribute heat and nutrients slowly across the globe. Warm waters flowing poleward influence regional climates, while cold, nutrient-rich waters support life in temperate and tropical regions. Over decades and centuries, these processes affect species composition, migration patterns, and ecosystem structure. Subtle changes in temperature or salinity propagate gradually, influencing organisms in ways that may only be observable over long periods. Deep-sea ecosystems are similarly affected by seasonal and climate-driven changes. Organic material descends slowly from surface layers, providing a delayed but consistent source of energy. Nutrient fluxes influence bacterial activity, feeding deep-sea invertebrates and supporting predators above the seabed. These processes operate with patience, connecting surface productivity to the life of the deep in a continuous, measured cycle. Even coral reefs respond to long-term climatic cycles. Seasonal temperature variations, light availability, and nutrient flow influence coral growth, reproduction, and bleaching events. Fish and invertebrates adjust their behavior and interactions to these slow changes. The ecosystem as a whole remains resilient due to the deliberate tempo of energy flow, reproduction, and migration. Over centuries, ocean currents, temperature gradients, and seasonal cycles shape the distribution of species. Migration routes, breeding cycles, and feeding grounds all synchronize with these environmental patterns. Life evolves in concert with slow-moving forces, demonstrating the patient, enduring nature of the ocean. Storms, monsoons, and other extreme events create temporary disruptions, yet the ocean absorbs energy and returns to equilibrium gradually. Ecosystems adjust incrementally, with species adapting, populations shifting, and energy flows recalibrating over time. These changes illustrate the ocean's capacity to maintain balance despite variability, emphasizing the long-term rhythm that governs marine life. Even minor shifts in climate have cascading effects. Nutrient availability changes gradually, plankton blooms fluctuate, and predator-prey interactions adjust in response. These effects may take years or decades to fully manifest, yet they demonstrate the patient, interconnected nature of oceanic systems. Energy and life continue to flow, adapting slowly to maintain stability and resilience. From the surface to the abyss, from the equator to the poles, the oceans operate as a vast, continuous network of measured processes. Seasonal changes, climatic cycles, and currents dictate the rhythm of life, ensuring that energy is distributed, species interact, and ecosystems persist. The tempo is slow, deliberate, and enduring, reflecting the patient pulse of the ocean across time and space. Even the smallest organisms, from plankton to deep-sea bacteria, participate in these long-term cycles. Their reproduction, movement, and energy use are aligned with seasonal and climate-driven changes, integrating into a system that has persisted for millions of years. The ocean's balance is maintained by these subtle, patient processes, connecting all life through a continuous, unhurried rhythm. The oceans serve as the planet's vast reservoir of energy and carbon, absorbing sunlight, heat, and carbon dioxide with patient precision. Surface waters capture solar energy, warming gradually and distributing heat slowly through currents. This stored energy influences weather, climate, and the growth of organisms across vast distances, forming the foundation of a continuous, unhurried cycle. Phytoplankton play a critical role in the carbon cycle. Through photosynthesis, they convert sunlight and carbon dioxide into organic matter. This energy and carbon slowly pass through the food web, from zooplankton to fish, squid, and larger predators. Even after death, organisms sink to the ocean floor, contributing to long-term carbon storage in sediments. These processes are slow yet persistent, maintaining balance in the global climate system over centuries and millennia. Deep-sea sediments act as long-term repositories of carbon and nutrients. Organic material descending from upper layers accumulates gradually, providing a patient mechanism for carbon sequestration. Bacteria and other decomposers process this matter slowly, releasing nutrients back into the surrounding water. This slow, deliberate recycling sustains ecosystems over immense timescales, linking the surface world to the abyssal plains. Energy transfer within the ocean follows a similarly measured tempo. Currents carry heat and nutrients across oceans, sustaining life in regions far from the source. Large predators, migratory species, and deep-sea organisms all rely on this gradual flow. The energy moves slowly, yet it reaches every layer of the ocean, connecting ecosystems in a patient, unbroken rhythm. Coral reefs and coastal ecosystems also participate in these cycles. Algae convert sunlight into chemical energy, herbivores graze on the algae, and predators feed on herbivores. Nutrients are recycled over weeks, months, and years, forming a system that sustains biodiversity and stability. Even temporary disturbances are absorbed gradually, with recovery occurring in alignment with the slow tempo of energy and carbon cycling. Ocean currents, temperature gradients, and density differences influence the distribution of energy and carbon over long distances. Warm water transports heat poleward, while cold water carries nutrients and carbon toward equatorial and abyssal regions. These flows operate with patience, redistributing resources and sustaining life on scales that surpass human perception. The deep ocean plays a pivotal role in global carbon storage. Organisms in the twilight and abyssal zones rely on materials slowly sinking from the surface. Microbes decompose organic matter, releasing nutrients and maintaining chemical balance. Over centuries, this process contributes to long-term carbon sequestration, stabilizing the climate and supporting life in the depths. Even human activities intersect with these processes, often disrupting the patient balance of energy and carbon flows. Yet, the ocean's inherent rhythm gradually re-establishes equilibrium. Sediments absorb excess carbon, currents redistribute heat, and ecosystems adapt over time. The system is resilient, governed by a slow, steady pulse that has endured for millions of years. From the smallest phytoplankton to the largest whales, from coastal reefs to abyssal trenches, the ocean functions as a patient system of energy and carbon transfer. Every movement, every feeding event, every death contributes to a continuous, unhurried cycle that maintains balance, supports life, and stabilizes the planet's climate. In this immense, interconnected system, the pace is deliberate and measured. Energy is stored, transferred, and recycled with precision. Carbon is sequestered and released gradually, influencing ecosystems far and wide. Life adapts slowly, maintaining resilience, stability, and continuity. The ocean's pulse is subtle, enduring, and hypnotic, a rhythm that connects all living and non-living components in a seamless, patient flow. The result is a planet-wide system in which life, energy, and carbon are intertwined across time and space. The oceans operate with quiet consistency, preserving ecological balance, sustaining biodiversity, and ensuring that the intricate web of life persists, slowly, steadily, and harmoniously. Oceans are not static. They exist as dynamic systems that maintain equilibrium over vast timescales. Energy, nutrients, and life cycles interweave to create a persistent, patient rhythm. The continuity of the food chain depends on slow, deliberate processes, each species occupying its role in an intricate network that spans depths, distances, and generations. At the base, phytoplankton flourish with sunlight and nutrients. Their growth and reproduction are gradual, influenced by seasonal cycles, currents, and nutrient availability. Zooplankton feed on these microscopic plants, transferring energy slowly upward. Small fish consume zooplankton, followed by larger predators, each movement paced by the environment and constrained by energy efficiency. This slow chain ensures stability, allowing ecosystems to persist across decades and centuries. Adaptation is central to this continuity. Species evolve traits that match environmental conditions with precision. Deep-sea organisms develop slow metabolisms to conserve energy, bioluminescence to communicate or attract prey, and specialized organs to survive high pressure and low temperatures. Shallow water species adapt to light variation, predator presence, and nutrient availability. Over generations, these adaptations solidify, creating ecosystems that are resilient, patient, and enduring. Even predator-prey dynamics unfold with deliberate pacing. Predators strike only when optimal conditions arise, minimizing energy expenditure, while prey employ subtle evasive strategies. These interactions, repeated over millennia, maintain balance within ecosystems. Nothing occurs hastily. Every movement, every hunt, and every escape aligns with a rhythm dictated by the ocean itself. Nutrient recycling contributes to the persistence of life. Organic matter from upper layers descends slowly to the deep ocean, feeding detritivores and bacteria. These organisms break down material gradually, releasing nutrients back into the water, sustaining organisms across multiple layers. The ocean's energy flows are continuous yet unhurried, forming cycles that endure over centuries. Long-term ecological stability also depends on migration and reproduction. Seasonal movements of whales, sea turtles, and fish synchronize with food availability, currents, and breeding grounds. Reproduction often occurs under precise conditions, aligned with environmental cues. This deliberate timing enhances survival and ensures the continuation of life, reinforcing the unbroken rhythm of the ocean. Coral reefs exemplify the interdependence of species over long periods. Herbivores graze on algae, predators regulate herbivore populations, and invertebrates recycle nutrients. Every interaction is measured and deliberate, creating a slow, stable equilibrium that allows the reef to persist for centuries. Changes may occur, but the ecosystem gradually absorbs disturbances, restoring balance in alignment with the ocean's patient tempo. Even the deepest ecosystems rely on these slow, persistent cycles. Hydrothermal vents release minerals gradually, supporting tube worms, clams, and bacteria. The energy spreads slowly, sustaining life that adapts to high pressure, darkness, and limited resources. The slow pace of energy transfer ensures survival and continuity, linking isolated communities to the broader oceanic system. Over geological timescales, these processes demonstrate the ocean's remarkable resilience. Currents, temperature gradients, chemical distributions, and organism interactions combine to maintain balance. Species evolve, ecosystems adjust, and energy cycles persist in a rhythm that is subtle, continuous, and enduring. From microscopic plankton to the largest whales, from coral reefs to abyssal plains, the ocean's ecosystems exemplify patient, long-term stability. Energy flows gradually, species interact deliberately, and adaptations accumulate over generations. The result is a system that is robust, harmonious, and timeless. Every layer, every organism, every cycle contributes to the persistent rhythm of life. The oceans, with their immense scale and slow tempo, sustain a web of interconnections that spans the globe. This patient, measured system allows life to thrive, adapt, and endure, ensuring that the complex tapestry of marine ecosystems continues unbroken through time. In essence, the oceans operate as a vast, interconnected, and rhythmic system. Life flows patiently, energy circulates deliberately, and ecosystems persist with enduring stability. The ocean's unhurried pulse governs all processes, maintaining balance and continuity across generations, depths, and continents. Over millions of years, the oceans have undergone vast geological and biological changes, yet life has persisted through patient adaptation and slow evolution. Tectonic activity shifts ocean basins, forming mountains, trenches, and ridges. Volcanoes erupt beneath the waves, creating new habitats, while currents, sedimentation, and erosion reshape the seafloor gradually. These slow processes set the stage for ecosystems to adapt, evolve, and endure. Life in the oceans responds to these changes over long timescales. Species evolve traits that enable survival under shifting conditions. Fish develop new feeding strategies, invertebrates refine reproductive cycles, and microorganisms adjust metabolic pathways to exploit available resources. These evolutionary adaptations are gradual, occurring over generations, and they maintain ecological balance despite constant geological change. Coral reefs, for instance, grow and expand slowly, responding to fluctuations in sea level, temperature, and nutrient availability. Each branch represents decades of patient development, providing shelter, hunting grounds, and breeding areas for countless species. Over centuries, reefs can migrate, expand, or recover from disturbances, demonstrating the persistent, slow rhythm of ocean life. Deep-sea ecosystems show similar patterns of patient adaptation. Hydrothermal vent communities, isolated for long periods, rely on chemical energy rather than sunlight. Tube worms, clams, and symbiotic bacteria evolve slowly to optimize energy extraction from vent emissions. Changes in vent activity may alter community composition gradually, yet the overall ecosystem remains resilient due to the long-term adaptations of its inhabitants. Migration patterns of large marine animals also reflect this slow evolutionary tuning. Whales, sharks, and sea turtles follow ancient routes, responding to currents, food availability, and breeding conditions. These migrations occur with precision and energy efficiency, shaped over millennia to maximize survival and reproductive success. Even slight disruptions in these patterns can propagate slowly across the ecosystem, influencing the rhythm of predator-prey interactions, nutrient flow, and reproductive cycles. Energy transfer within these ecosystems mirrors the slow pace of adaptation. Organic material descends from surface waters to feed deep-sea organisms. Nutrients are recycled gradually by bacteria, detritivores, and scavengers. Predators consume prey in measured bursts, conserving energy. Each step in the cycle occurs deliberately, ensuring that ecosystems function sustainably over centuries and millennia. Even minor geological events have long-term biological implications. Submarine landslides, volcanic eruptions, and tectonic shifts can alter habitats, redirect currents, and change nutrient availability. Organisms respond gradually, adjusting feeding, migration, and reproductive strategies to align with the new conditions. This slow adaptation ensures the continuity of life and the persistence of ecological balance despite environmental perturbations. The evolutionary pace of ocean life is patient, reflecting the stability and resilience of its systems. Species refine survival strategies incrementally. Sensory organs evolve to detect subtle signals in darkness, metabolic rates adjust to conserve energy, and reproductive cycles synchronize with environmental cues. These adaptations accumulate over generations, forming robust ecosystems capable of enduring both geological and climatic change. Coral reefs, plankton populations, and deep-sea communities alike demonstrate this principle. Energy moves slowly through food webs, reproductive cycles unfold over years, and migrations follow ancient rhythms. The ocean's ecosystems persist because life is aligned with the patient pace of environmental change and resource availability. Even at the microscopic level, evolution and adaptation are gradual. Bacteria, archaea, and plankton adjust metabolism, form symbiotic relationships, and recycle nutrients at measured tempos. These processes underpin the stability of higher organisms, linking the smallest forms of life to the largest, from microscopic cells to whales. Over geological time, the ocean has remained a dynamic yet persistent system. Tectonic shifts, sediment deposition, and climate fluctuations provide new challenges and opportunities for life. Species adapt incrementally, ecosystems adjust slowly, and energy and nutrient cycles continue in a deliberate, patient rhythm. The result is a web of life that endures, resilient and balanced across the ages. From the sunlit surface to the deepest trenches, from coral reefs to hydrothermal vents, the ocean systems are intertwined through patient adaptation, slow evolution, and deliberate energy flow. Life persists because the tempo of these processes is measured, continuous, and harmonious. The oceans demonstrate the enduring power of time, rhythm, and balance in sustaining ecosystems across millennia. The oceans, vast and ancient, have withstood countless natural changes over millions of years. Yet in recent centuries, human activity has introduced new challenges: pollution, overfishing, climate change, and habitat disruption. Despite these pressures, ocean ecosystems demonstrate remarkable resilience, adapting gradually to maintain long-term balance. Pollution introduces toxins and excess nutrients into marine environments. Phytoplankton populations may initially bloom, followed by shifts in zooplankton and fish communities. Over time, species adapt to new chemical conditions, altering metabolic pathways, reproductive strategies, and feeding behaviors. The response is slow, measured, and gradual, reflecting the ocean's inherent ability to absorb disturbances while preserving systemic function. Overfishing removes key species from food webs, disrupting energy transfer and predator-prey relationships. Yet remaining species adjust their behavior slowly. Predators may shift hunting grounds, prey populations may alter reproductive timing, and new niches emerge for underutilized organisms. Ecosystems respond incrementally, redistributing energy and nutrients to sustain life across layers and depths. Climate change introduces rising temperatures, ocean acidification, and altered currents. Coral bleaching, shifts in plankton distribution, and changes in migration patterns are among the visible effects. Yet, through slow adaptation, species develop resilience. Corals may grow more tolerant symbiotic algae, plankton communities may shift composition, and migratory routes adjust over decades. The ocean's rhythm persists, balancing new conditions with patient, long-term processes. Deep-sea environments exhibit similar resilience. Hydrothermal vent communities, isolated and extreme, absorb changes in temperature and chemical composition gradually. Tube worms, clams, and bacterial symbionts adapt incrementally, sustaining life in ways that reflect millions of years of evolution. Even small disruptions ripple slowly through these ecosystems, with recovery unfolding over extended periods. Energy cycles, nutrient flow, and predator-prey dynamics operate with deliberate pacing, providing stability amid human-induced changes. Organic material continues to descend to the abyss, supporting scavengers and bacteria. Currents redistribute heat, nutrients, and oxygen over vast distances. Life adapts gradually, sustaining the balance of ecosystems despite increasing anthropogenic pressures. Coral reefs, mangroves, and coastal wetlands demonstrate patient recovery. Herbivorous fish, invertebrates, and algae re-establish equilibrium after disturbances. Sediments and nutrient recycling gradually restore chemical balance, while species interactions resume their slow, methodical patterns. The result is a system that, though stressed, maintains continuity and resilience. Even at the microbial level, adaptation occurs in response to human impacts. Bacteria degrade pollutants, recycle nutrients, and support higher organisms. Metabolic flexibility, symbiotic relationships, and slow evolution enable these microscopic communities to persist, forming the foundation for ecosystem recovery. The ocean's capacity to resist and adapt highlights its long-term equilibrium. Changes may be rapid at the surface, yet over years, decades, and centuries ecosystems realign, energy flows stabilize, and food webs re-establish continuity. Life proceeds with patience, conserving energy, and reinforcing the rhythm that has persisted for millions of years. From the smallest microorganisms to the largest whales, from the sunlit reefs to the hadal trenches, the ocean demonstrates endurance. Adaptation, energy transfer, and ecological interactions continue gradually, preserving biodiversity and function. Even in the face of human-induced changes, the system moves with deliberate tempo, maintaining balance through patient, methodical processes. Ultimately, the oceans are a testament to resilience. Their vastness, interconnectedness, and slow rhythm allow them to withstand disruptions, absorb energy imbalances, and support life. Human impacts create challenges, yet the patient flow of currents, energy, and adaptation ensures that the web of life continues, maintaining the enduring pulse of the planet's watery heart. The ocean's food webs are vast, intricate, and enduring. Each species, from microscopic plankton to the largest whales, occupies a role that contributes to the stability and continuity of life. Energy flows gradually through these networks, moving patiently from one organism to another. The system is slow, measured, and unhurried, reflecting the ocean's inherent rhythm and long-term resilience. At the base, phytoplankton converts sunlight and carbon dioxide into chemical energy. This energy drifts downward or is consumed by zooplankton. Small fish feed on zooplankton, larger predators hunt these fish, and apex predators like sharks and whales move across oceans following prey availability. Each step in this chain is deliberate, with energy conserved, cycles maintained, and interactions carefully balanced. Adaptation reinforces the integrity of these food webs. Species adjust behaviorally and physiologically to environmental conditions, conserving energy and ensuring survival. Deep-sea fish develop slow metabolisms, bioluminescence signaling, and sensitive detection systems. Shallow water species respond to temperature, light, and nutrient fluctuations. Even microscopic organisms modify metabolic rates or form symbiotic relationships to endure challenging conditions. These slow adaptations preserve the structure and function of ecosystems across generations. Energy transfer in the ocean is continuous but measured. Organic material from surface waters sinks to feed deep-sea communities. Currents distribute nutrients and heat across vast distances, sustaining life in regions far from primary productivity. Predators, prey, and detritivores interact in careful balance, maintaining food webs that operate over decades, centuries, and even millennia. Seasonal and climatic cycles further structure these networks. Plankton blooms, predator migrations, and breeding seasons all follow predictable patterns. Species align their behavior with environmental rhythms, ensuring efficient energy use and reproduction. These long-term alignments reinforce stability, allowing food webs to persist despite minor disruptions or environmental changes. Coral reefs and coastal systems exemplify the integration of energy and adaptation. Herbivores graze on algae, predators control herbivore populations, and invertebrates recycle nutrients. Each organism's behavior, reproduction, and feeding are synchronized with the slow tempo of the ecosystem. Over years, decades, and centuries, this measured interaction maintains biodiversity, resilience, and structural integrity. Even in the deep sea, where light is absent, food webs function with deliberate pacing. Hydrothermal vent communities rely on chemical energy rather than sunlight. Tube worms, clams, and bacteria process minerals slowly, sustaining life in a limited, extreme environment. Nutrients gradually disperse to surrounding waters, connecting these isolated ecosystems to larger oceanic networks. The ocean's food webs demonstrate remarkable redundancy and patience. Multiple species may fulfill similar ecological roles, ensuring that energy flows continue even if some species decline. Long-term stability depends on this redundancy, the slow pace of reproduction, migration, and energy transfer, and the gradual accumulation of adaptive traits over generations. Over geological timescales, energy flow, species adaptation, and ecological interactions maintain equilibrium. Life persists because organisms and ecosystems operate within the ocean's patient rhythm. Currents, tides, chemical gradients, and nutrient cycles all reinforce this tempo, integrating the activities of countless organisms into a cohesive, enduring system. Even human influences, though impactful, unfold slowly relative to the ocean's long-term processes. Pollutants, temperature shifts, and overfishing disrupt food webs initially, but the patient flow of energy, adaptation, and nutrient cycling allows ecosystems to absorb, adjust, and recover gradually. The ocean systems are resilient, persistent, and unhurried, capable of maintaining continuity despite external pressures. From plankton to whales, from coral reefs to abyssal plains, the ocean exemplifies the integration of energy, adaptation, and ecological balance. Each organism participates in a measured rhythm, ensuring that food webs remain connected, energy continues to circulate, and life endures. This patient, continuous flow underpins the ocean's stability, preserving the integrity of its ecosystems across space and time. The long-term coherence of food webs, energy transfer, and adaptive strategies ensures that life in the oceans is enduring. Even minor disruptions are absorbed gradually, species adjust slowly, and cycles continue in a seamless, unhurried flow. The ocean operates as a vast, interconnected, rhythmic system, a testament to the enduring power of patience, adaptation, and ecological harmony.